Conductors, air traffic controllers, teachers, garbage collectors, utility workers. France's sixth day of protests and strikes against pension reforms, one of the biggest since the government introduced its bill at the start of the year. Some 250 demonstrations across France. The CGT trade union claiming 700,000 in the main demonstration through the streets of Paris. The stakes are higher this time. Unions currently huddling to decide whether this time to roll over the stoppages into Wednesday and make it an unlimited strike.
Today, public opinion is more and more on our side. 7 out of 10 French people, 9 out of 10 workers. So with so many of us in the streets, while the Senate debates the bill before it goes back to Parliament, we think popular pressure could affect real change.
Demain, c'est le 8 mars, c'est la journée des droits des femmes.
Tomorrow is the 8th of March, International Women's Day, and women are going to suffer much more from this reform with career breaks. They'll be penalised when they take out their pensions.
The protest drawing old and young alike, like students at the start line of the big demonstration in the capital in Paris's West Bank's 7th arrondissement. Well, for more, let's cross now to France 24's Liza Kaminov. Liza, tell us where you are.
So I'm at the Place d'Italie in central Paris. This is the destination of the 6th protest against the government's pension reform. And behind me you can see a lot of the trade unions are slowly filling up the square as people are finally ending their march. And it started off with a very festive atmosphere, but in the last couple of minutes it seems to have taken a turn. We started off with flags waving, music playing, people singing. Now I'm hearing a lot of horns blaring. A few policemen walked past me, so we will just have to see how the situation develops. But all in all, from what we've seen, it's been a much higher turnout than the 31st January protests, and the latest figures from the trade unions show that around 700,000 protesters have been present in Paris alone. Now, we will have to wait to see what the police says, what figures they have, but we can really feel that today it's a much larger crowd and a real mix. You've got youth, elderly, families, children, and all of their aim is the same. It's very united. The unions made a lot of promises this week. They promised to bring France to a halt. They promised to bring the economy down. And you can feel it. The people who have come here today, they're coming from every possible sector. It's not just the railway workers. It's not just the energy sector. Today we met a lot of pharmaceuticals, teachers, garbage collectors, people from the metals industry and the aeronautics industry. So at the moment, we'll have to see how it goes, how the situation develops. But you can see behind me it's getting quite rowdy.
All right, quite rowdy, by maybe not so much by French standards, but we'll see. Liza, as we're speaking, the trade union leaders are starting to huddle to decide what to do next, possibly roll over the strike. Those that were marching, did they feel like they had the stomach to prolong the fight indefinitely?
You know, that's a really good question because it's been a bit of a mixed reaction. So the protesters I spoke to today, a lot of them have said that they are for what the trade unions called grève reconductive, which means that it's the protesters that are going to decide whether or not to continue industrial action. So a lot of them are for it, but some of them think that it's not sustainable, and it is very challenging to continue striking many days in a row, especially for those who will be eventually hit by it first. But the aim, and I guess the collective aim, is to continue to have a severe impact on the economy through consistently walking out and creating blockages in industries, in the transport, energy and industry sectors. So that is the main aim, and that is also why these protests today and this week are very different to the previous ones. So the reaction, as I said, is quite mixed. I think most people will try to stick it out if they can afford to, but we might see numbers fall throughout the week should these strikes continue.
Liza Kaminov reporting live from Paris's Place d'Italie, the finish line